Hello friends. So I am back with my new lecture, that is Citizenship Amendment Act and Article 14. So we will study about the this act and whether this act fulfills the requirement or the provisions as mentioned in Article 14 in our Constitution. So whether it complies with the Article 14 or not, we will study in detail. So before I'll jump to Citizenship Amendment Act and Article 14, first, if we will see whether if any act or any bill comes, any act or any law comes to the Supreme Court, so what the court will see to check whether the act is valid or not, or illegal or not, as per the point of view of legal point of view. So what Supreme Court will check? So Supreme Court or any other court, so Supreme Court or court will check. What it will check? It will check whether the competent authority who has enacted the law is, or the authority is competent to do so. Okay, so it will check whether the authority who has enacted the law, who has implemented or who has passed the law is competent enough to pass the law. So it will check this thing. And second, what it will check, whether the authority has adopted the prescribed procedure as mentioned in the law. So it will check if the authority has adopted which has passed the law, has adopted the legal procedure or the prescribed procedure as mentioned in the law. So it will check both these points, whether the authority who has enacted the law is competent to do so, and the authority has adopted the prescribed procedure as mentioned in the law. So it will check these two things. That is, so in short, competency and procedure to pass the law is legal. So it will check both these points. So it is competent enough and the procedure to pass the law is legal. So both these points will be checked. So Supreme Court will check these two things. Now for this Citizenship Amendment Act, as you know, so this is basically the procedure established by the law. So this is basically the procedure by the law, as established by the law, which our Indian Constitution has already mentioned in Article 21. So these two steps Supreme Court will check, and this is actually the procedure as established by the law. Now this procedure established by the law is mentioned in Article 21, that no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by the law. So what is the procedure established by the law? So this is the procedure established by the law. So Supreme Court will check the procedure, whether the law prescribe the procedure to enact the act, and the authority is competent enough to enact the act. Now, this procedure established by the law is an old doctrine. It is an old doctrine. So, procedure established by the law is an old doctrine, which is before 1970 actually. In Menka Gandhi you can say 1978. In Menka Gandhi case versus Union of India, 1978. So in this act, Supreme Court has maintained that in addition to the procedure established by the law, there will be one more thing which Supreme Court will check, and which is being, now this procedure established by the law is taken from British Constitution, and this due process of law. Due process of law, Supreme Court will check the law as per this postulate, that is the due process of law, which is being taken from the American Constitution. So Supreme Court says that this is an old doctrine, that any law will be checked. So any law repercussions or the authority of any law, the executive action done under any law will be checked if it complies with the procedure established by the law. But in Menka Gandhi case, Supreme Court says that it will check according to the due process of law. So in addition to procedures established by the law, it will also check the reasonableness of the law. Reasonableness of the law. So whether the law is reasonable, so due process of law is equal to procedure established by law plus reasonableness of law. So court, in addition to procedure established by the law, will also check whether the law is reasonable, fair, and reasonable. So it checks the inherent goodness of the law. So whether the law is fair and reasonable, or it will comply, or you can say it is not arbitrary, and it complies. So I can say, I will say that due process of law is equal to, okay, procedure established by the law plus reasonableness of law, that is principles of natural justice. So in principles of natural justice, the reasonableness of the law will be checked. So the the law will comply to the principles of natural justice also. So procedure is also, and the procedure of the law is just, fair, and reasonable. Okay. So similarly, if Supreme Court needs to check the Citizenship Amendment Act, so it will check whether it complies with the due process of law or not. So it will check, Supreme Court will check whether the procedure has been properly established by the law. So the established procedure has been followed to enact the law, plus law is following the principles of natural justice. So the Citizenship Amendment Act will be checked as per the due process of law. Whether it is following the principles of natural justice or not. So we will check the Citizenship Amendment Act. So because Parliament has enacted this law, so it is the competent authority who has enacted this law, and Parliament has passed this law by majority. So the procedure as established by the law is being followed. So Parliament has enacted this law, which is competent to enact the provisions of the citizenship as mentioned in our constitution, and the Parliament passed the bill by the majority, and thus the Citizenship Amendment Act has been enacted. So both the things, procedures have been followed. Now Supreme Court will also check whether the law is following the principles of natural justice or not. So what are the principles of natural justice? We will check. We'll check the principles of natural justice. What are the principles of natural justice? Principles of natural justice. So, principle of natural justice is that the accused, that the person, that no one is allowed to become judge in its own case. अपने केस में कोई भी जज नहीं बनेगा. No one is allowed to become judge in its own case. Next point. No one is allowed to become judge in its own case. No one is condemned or arrested or convicted unheard, or the person will be given proper chances to be heard. So no one is condemned unheard. So this is the principle of natural justice कि आप किसी को भी कन्विक्ट नहीं करोगे जब तक आप उसकी भी साइड सुन नहीं लोगे. So उसको भी आपको एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन, जैसे हमारे लॉ में ये है कि कोई भी अक्यूज होता है तो उसको भी एक वकील दिया जाता है या वो भी अपने आप को रिप्रेजेंट करता है कोर्ट में. So no one will be condemned unheard, and the authority is acting on a fair mode. Okay, without bias. Without bias. Authority is acting on a fair mode or without bias. So these principles of natural justice should be followed. And plus the law under which the executive action will be taking place should not be arbitrary. Law should not be arbitrary, or law should be fair, or fairness of the law. Fairness of the law. So it will be checked whether the law is reasonable and it should not be arbitrary. So arbitrariness will be struck down. So if the law is arbitrary, the law will be outrightly struck down by the Supreme Court, by the court. So the law should not be arbitrary and law should be fair, just and reasonable. So similarly for Citizenship Amendment Act, court will check whether the law is reasonable, fair and just, and will be following the principles of natural justice as mentioned here. So now we will check whether it is fulfilling the principles of natural justice or not. And what are the principles of natural justice? Law should not be arbitrary, or law is complying. And now how to check whether the law is not arbitrary? We will see. Now the main thing starts from here. So it will be checked. So now we will check whether the Citizenship Amendment Act is reasonable, just, fair and reasonable, so that it will pass the provisions of due process of law. Okay. Now to check the how to check the reasonableness of the act. That is the main issue. So to check the reasonableness, Supreme Court will check whether it fulfills the requirement or provision as mentioned in Article 14 of Indian Constitution. Article 14. So Article 14 is equality before law and equal protection of laws. So So the reasonableness can be checked by seeing whether the act does not violate this equality before law and does not violate the equal protection of law as mentioned in Article 14 of our Indian Constitution. Now, as you know that equality before law, in equality before law, what is being checked? That the law, equality before law means the law does not discriminate between different people on the basis of their caste, creed, race. So it will be checked whether this law, Citizenship Amendment Act, whether it fulfills the equality before law provision as well as the equal protection of laws provision also. Now, equality before law, it forbids unequal treatment and protection of equal protection of laws, it promotes equal treatment. So it will be checked whether this law, this act is doing some unequal treatment or not. So if it is doing some unequal treatment, then it violates this equality before law provision, and then this law will be negated by the court, competent court. But if we can see, so equality before law means that the particular law does not discriminate between different persons on the basis of their caste, color, creed, religion also. So as you can see, Citizenship Amendment Act, so we will study about some provisions of this act. So, and equality before law and equal protection of laws means that this act is removed. What is equal protection of laws? That it promotes equal treatment. So the laws which are enacted by the legislature, they will promote the equal treatment or so equality. So equality will be, so the laws will be formulated in such a way that they promotes equal treatment. So the laws. So in specific sense, the specific law should promote the equal treatment. So equal treatment means, so whatever inequalities are prevalent in societies, so the laws should be formulated in such a way that those inequalities, the discriminatory laws will not be enacted, while those inequalities, so laws should be enacted so that the inequalities should be reduced and removed. So it promotes equal treatment while it forbids unequal treatment. Now citizenship. So we will, one more thing, equal protection of laws. So what Supreme Court has done in equal protection of laws. So in equal protection of laws, so what Supreme Court checks whether the law. So in equal protection of laws, so it actually, so how the law will protect the equal or the people. So because as you can see in our society, there are people who have different you can say classification or different variety or different as you can say the socially, economically, politically. So people are socially, economically, politically unequal in our society. So the laws should be formulated in such a way that this inequality will be removed. Now this inequality can only be removed if the laws for this, for the person who is poor and for the person is, for example, rich. So the laws for poor and rich will be different, है ना. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको बताऊं, जैसे इनकम टैक्स एक्ट है. सो इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में आप देखते हैं कि जिनकी सैलरी कम है उनके ऊपर लो इनकम टैक्स होता है, वाइल जो रिच है, सुपर रिच है, उनके ऊपर हाई इनकम टैक्स होता है. तो आप कहेंगे ये तो डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी है, बट इट इज नॉट एक्चुअली डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी. इट एक्चुअली फुलफिल्स द equal protection of laws provision as per mentioned in the Article 14. So equal protection means to remove the inequality. So to remove the inequality, so equal protection can only be done among equals and unequals. So among equals, law should be similar, while for unequals, so I can say that for equals law should be similar. For unequals, law should be different. Then only equal protection of laws, equal protection can be ensured if the law is different for unequals. So this is equal protection of laws. Okay. So law इक्वली प्रोटेक्ट करेगा, लेकिन इक्वली प्रोटेक्ट तब करेगा जब हम अनइक्वल लॉज बनाएंगे, फॉर अनइक्वल्स. सो इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉज एक तरह से इनइक्वालिटी को खत्म करता है और एक तरह से ये बोलता है कि अनइक्वल लॉज आप बना सकते हैं. नाउ दीज अनइक्वल लॉज, ये जो अनइक्वल लॉज है, सो अब नाउ कोर्ट ये चेक करती है कि जो अनइक्वल लॉज है, कि रिच के लिए कोई लॉ है, पुअर के लिए कोई लॉ है. सो दिस अनइक्वल लॉज दे एक्चुअली फुलफिल्स द ट्विन टेस्ट. तो ट्विन टेस्ट क्या है कि जो कैटेगराइजेशन किया गया है, ये कैटेगराइजेशन किया गया है इस लॉ के द्वारा, अनइक्वल लॉ, यानी कि लॉ तो एक है बट लॉ कैटेगराइजेशन कर रहा है ना, अकॉर्डिंग एज पर द अनइक्वल ट्रीटमेंट. तो अनइक्वल ट्रीटमेंट के लिए जो कैटेगराइजेशन कर रहा है, सो दिस कैटेगराइजेशन फुलफिल्स 2 क्राइटेरिया: इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशिया एंड नेशनल नेक्सस. सो ये 2 क्राइटेरिया, अगर जो ये अनइक्वल लॉ है, अगर ये 2 क्राइटेरिया फुलफिल कर दे, तो अनइक्वल लॉ will pass the test of. So I'll say that the unequal law, if the categorization of unequal of the law in the law, if it fulfills the twin criteria of intelligible differentia, that is intelligible differentia and rational nexus, then the law is been declared that it has passed the litmus test of Article 14 of the Constitution, or the law is just, fair and reasonable. तो ये इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशिया और रेशनल नेक्सस का ट्विन टेस्ट पास करता हुआ होना चाहिए. So intelligible differentia, so categorization must pass the test of intelligible differentia and rational nexus. Now what is intelligible differentia? So intelligible differentia means that the differentiation which that law is making is reasonable. Intelligible differentia is not arbitrary. That the differentiation which the law is making is not arbitrary, or it should be reasonable. ठीक है? So this is intelligible differentia. And rational nexus, तो arbitrary should be reasonable मतलब कि it is not discriminatory. Differentiation is not discriminatory. And rational nexus मतलब rational nexus. What does it mean? So it means that the objective which that law is making by differentiating, so the objective which the authority is seeking should be fulfilled. Should be fulfilled by that differentiation. Okay. So the objective, so differentiation should not be arbitrary, not discriminatory, it should be reasonable, and रेशनल एक्सेस मीन द ऑब्जेक्टिव विच द अथॉरिटी इज सीकिंग शुड बी फुलफिल्ड बाय द डिफरेंशिएशन, यानी कि डिफरेंशिएशन से वो जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, वो जो अचीव करना चाहती है अथॉरिटी, वो फुलफिल होना चाहिए। तो अब हम देखते हैं कि सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट क्या इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ एंड इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉज, यानी कि ये दो क्राइटेरिया, इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशिया जो कैटेगराइजेशन डिफरेंशिएशन हो रहा है वो आर्बिट्रेरी ना नहीं है, एंड रेशनल एक्सेस फुलफिल कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है। अगर ये टेस्ट पास हो गए तो सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट विल नॉट बी डिक्लेयर्ड एज नल एंड वॉइड बाय द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, दैट इज फॉर श्योर। Now what Citizenship Amendment Act says, तो सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट क्या कहता है कि पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान एंड बांग्लादेश, ठीक है, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान एंड बांग्लादेश से जो भी हिंदू अदर देन मुस्लिम्स कम्युनिटीज, हिंदूज, सिख्स, बुद्धिस्ट, जैन, पारसीज, ठीक है, जो भी ये कम्युनिटीज हैं जो कि इन कंट्रीज से आई हैं, सो दोज कम्युनिटीज, दीज कम्युनिटीज विच आर हिंदू, सिख्स, बुद्धिस्ट, जैन, पारसीज who have come from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh before on or before December 31, 2014, and they have come in India before this date, these communities, and they have been covered, already covered by they are staying in India. They have come on before and staying in India till date, and they have already covered under other laws of parliament. So they will not be declared as illegal migrants. So these communities who have come from these countries will not be declared as illegal migrants, and उसमें एक चीज और की, और citizenship will be provided to them as per the updated provision. So updated provision के हिसाब से उनको citizenship प्रोवाइड की जाएगी, यानी कि पहले कुछ 10 से 14 साल तक की कुछ होती थी जो कि अब 5 साल 6 साल में मिल जाया करेंगी, और इलीगल माइग्रेंट वो नहीं रहेंगे। बेसिकली इलीगल माइग्रेंट कौन से होते हैं? जो कि दूसरी कंट्री से आए हैं, इस किसी और कंट्री में, दे आर इलीगल माइग्रेंट, और एंड दे डो नॉट हैव appropriate papers with them to prove their citizenship, so they are illegal migrants. तो जो आए हैं, पेपर्स जिनके पास नहीं है, तो उनको सिटीजनशिप दी जाएगी। अभी तक क्या था, इलीगल माइग्रेंट्स तो उनको सिटीजनशिप नहीं दी जाती थी, बट उनका क्या है ना, वीजा एक्सटेंड करते रहते थे ये लोग, उनको वीजा इंडेफिनिट टाइम के लिए वीजा मिलता था, उनको सिटीजनशिप नहीं मिलती थी। तो सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट में क्या है ना, उन लोगों को सिटीजनशिप देंगे जो इन कंट्रीज से आए हैं, इलीगल माइग्रेंट्स नहीं रहेंगे उनको, और उनको सिटीजनशिप देंगे जो अभी तक नहीं मिलती थी इनको, ठीक है ना, ये प्रोविजन है। अब हम ये देखते हैं कि क्या ये आर्टिकल 14 को सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है। तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ, यानी कि ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन तो नहीं कर रहा। अब आप ये देखिए, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कर रहा है, अब आप कहेंगे कि ये रिलीजन के बेसिस पे डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कर रहा है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलीजन, कि ये कम्युनिटीज हैं। बट अगर आप इस एक्ट के प्रोविजंस को पढ़ेंगे तो इसमें लिखा है कि व्हाई दीज कम्युनिटीज आर देयर, बिकॉज दीज कम्युनिटीज आर इन माइनॉरिटी इन दीज कंट्रीज, and they are subjected to exploitation, they are subjected to torture, they are subjected to different type of crimes, and they are exploited, they are tortured, and physical torture, mental torture, ठीक है ना। So in minority, and they are persecuted also in these countries. So they are minority in these countries. So that is why ये डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं कर रहा है, क्योंकि इसमें सभी कम्युनिटीज ली हैं. अगर ये बुद्धिस्ट नहीं ली होती या जैन नहीं ली होती तब आप कह सकते थे कि डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी है. बट मुस्लिम्स अगर लेंगे तो मुस्लिम लेने का फायदा, मुस्लिम लेने से कोई मतलब नहीं है, क्योंकि मुस्लिम्स आर एक्चुअली इन मेजोरिटी इन दीज कंट्रीज. सो उनको माइग्रेंट्स ही रहेंगे, वो इलीगल माइग्रेंट्स ही रहेंगे. क्यों रहेंगे वो माइग्रेंट्स रहेंगे? क्योंकि वो अपनी कंट्रीज में दे आर हैप्पी एनफ, यानी कि वो प्रोस्पर है अपनी कंट्रीज में बिकॉज दे आर इन मेजोरिटी. But because these countries are persecuted, these countries religious minorities are persecuted in these countries. So these countries are actually, so these communities, people of these communities are termed as refugees, and they वो जो illegal migrants होते थे उनको एक खत्म कर दिया गया कि वो illegal migrants नहीं होंगे. ठीक है? So this law is not discriminatory on the basis of religion, because ये human grounds पे इनको consider कर सकते हैं. On the human grounds, क्योंकि इसमें इन लोगों के राइट्स जो है, फंडामेंटल राइट्स विल बी गिवन इम्पोर्टेंस, मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. तो यही है कि आर्टिकल 14 फंडामेंटल, बेसिकली दीज आर फंडामेंटल राइट्स, कि ये ऑल पीपल आर इक्वल बिकॉज दीज आर माइनॉरिटीज. सो दे आर गिवन सिटीजनशिप सो दैट दे कैन एंजॉय दी फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑल्सो ऑफ, यू नो, दे शुड बी, सिटीजनशिप मिल जाएगी तो ये भी इक्वल्स हो जाएंगे ना. अभी तो अनइक्वल्स हैं, इक्वल्स हो जाएंगे. उसके अलावा जो ये ट्विन टेस्ट है ऑफ इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशिया, तो ये जो कैटेगराइजेशन किया गया है इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशिया, से कैटेगराइजेशन जो किया गया है, ये मैंने कहा ये पास कर रहा है टेस्ट, क्योंकि कैटेगराइजेशन किया गया है क्योंकि दे आर माइनॉरिटीज एंड दे आर रिलीजियस परसिक्यूशन हैव बीन डन ऑन दीज कम्युनिटीज. तो दैट इज व्हाई दिस डिफरेंशिएशन इज डन. ये जो कैटेगराइजेशन, ये जो ग्रुप बनाया है इन कम्युनिटीज का, हिंदूज का, बुद्धिस्ट का, सिख्स का, जैन्स का, पारसीज का, सो ये ग्रुप जो है ये इंटेलिजेंटली फॉर्म किया गया है, तो इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशिया को फुलफिल कर रहा है. बिकॉज दीज कम्युनिटीज आर इन माइनॉरिटीज इन दीज कंट्रीज एंड दे आर persecuted, they are tortured, they are exploited in these countries. So that is why it fulfills the test of intelligible differentiation. And rational access, what is the rational access? क्या है objective, क्या है गवर्नमेंट का? to provide them human rights. उनको human rights दे रहे हैं जो उनको नहीं मिले हैं उन कंट्रीज में. तो उनको अगर सिटीजनशिप दी जाएगी, सिटीजनशिप दे रहे हैं ना इस एक्ट में, तो इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है टू प्रोवाइड देम ह्यूमन राइट्स, जो ह्यूमन के बेसिक राइट्स होते हैं, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, उनको प्रोवाइड करना है. और इसमें क्या कर रहे हैं, सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट में सिटीजनशिप दे रहे हैं इन कम्युनिटीज को. तो सिटीजनशिप मिलेगा तो ह्यूमन राइट्स मिल जाएंगे. तो अगर कैटेगराइजेशन इन कम्युनिटीज का किया गया है तो वो ह्यूमन राइट्स उनको मिल जाएंगे अगर सिटीजनशिप मिल जाती है तो वो उसको भी फुलफिल कर रहा है, रीजनल नेक्सस को भी. ठीक है ना. सो द लॉ इज नॉट आर्बिट्रेरी, द लॉ इज नॉट डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी, बिकॉज इसमें सारी कम्युनिटीज हैं, सारी माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटीज हैं. अगर कोई कम्युनिटी, क्रिश्चियंस ऑल्सो, क्रिश्चियंस आई फॉरगॉटन, क्रिश्चियंस ऑल्सो इसमें इंक्लूड की गई हैं. Thus, we can see that the rational nexus of providing human rights to these communities is actually being fulfilled because in this act, via this act, government is providing citizenship to these communities, and they will be, so previously they were declared as illegal migrants, so they will not be declared, so their illegal migrant status will be thrown away. Okay. तो अब मुस्लिम्स कहेंगे यार मुस्लिम्स को इसलिए इंक्लूड नहीं किया बिकॉज मुस्लिम्स आर इन मेजोरिटी इन दीज कंट्रीज. तो मुस्लिम्स आर नॉट परसिक्यूटेड. मुस्लिम्स को कैटेगराइजेशन में लेते तब ये डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी हो सकता था क्योंकि मुस्लिम्स आर नॉट परसिक्यूटेड. तो जो मुस्लिम्स को अगर लेते तो मुस्लिम को ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑलरेडी मिल रहे हैं इन कंट्रीज में, तो मुस्लिम्स को सिटीजनशिप देने की मतलब ही क्या है. तो कोई ऑब्जेक्टिव ही अचीव नहीं होता. ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है ह्यूमन राइट्स देना. ह्यूमन राइट्स मिलेगा सिटीजनशिप से. वो ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे ऑलरेडी दे आर इन गुड कंडीशन, ह्यूमन कंडीशन.
बट दीज कम्युनिटीज आर परसिक्यूटेड, इनको बहुत टॉर्चर हुआ है, बहुत सालों से, सदियों से टॉर्चर हुआ है इन कम्युनिटीज का, परसिक्यूशन हुआ है, इनको मारा गया है, इनको ह्यूमन राइट्स इनके छीन लिए गए हैं, इनको मारा गया है, इनको काटा गया है, और इस वजह से इनको सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट में इनको राइट्स दिए गए जा रहे हैं। अब आप कहेंगे कि ऐसी भी कुछ कंट्रीज हैं जहाँ पे मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटीज में, माइनॉरिटीज श्रीलंका वगैरह में कह सकते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली गवर्नमेंट उसके लिए सोच सकती है अलग से, बट ये एक्ट अपने आप में डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी नहीं है। हाँ, गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी डिसीजन है गवर्नमेंट का कि गवर्नमेंट किसी और कंट्री में जहाँ पे मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटी में है तो उनके लिए भी कानून बनाए, ताकि उन देशों में जो मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटी में है उनको भी यहाँ संरक्षण दिया जा सके, सिटीजनशिप दी जा सके। तो ये दिस इज अ पॉलिसी डिसीजन, बट this act as per the provisions of from these countries, this act does not seem to be, or is not discriminatory, because these countries serve all the community except majority, Muslim majority. This act serve all the communities who will be provided citizenship, and they will be, and their status of illegal migrants will be thrown away. In this way, this intelligible, so every act, every law will have to pass this intelligible differentia and this rational nexus objective or provision as mentioned in equal protection of laws. As it is not mentioned actually in the constitution, but it is not mentioned, but it is actually uh, uh, Supreme Court has defined that this. So thus in this way, this act actually passed the litmus test of Article 14, which is the EBL, equality before law, and EPL, equal protection of laws. Both the provisions of Article 14, this act actually passes. So this act will not be discriminatory. So, and in this way, Article 14 also you have understood that Article 14 is equality before law. So no one is above the law. The law should not be discriminatory. The law will not discriminate between different persons on the basis of their religion, caste, creed, and all persons will be subjected to the ordinary laws of the land. The law will not provide any privilege to anybody. The law will be equal for all. And equal protection means the laws should be formulated, and so that it will provide equal protection to each and everybody. And equal protection can only be provided when unequal laws can be formulated for unequal people, because people are unequal, so unequal laws can only be formulated. And if the unequal laws are formulated, then the categorization should be done in such a way that it fulfills the twin criteria of intelligible differentia as well as rational nexus. Okay, so with this I'll end my lecture here. In the next lecture I will bring another topic which is which needs explanation and understanding. Till then, it's goodbye. Kindly like my lecture and understand. If you want to understand this topic, kindly see this lecture and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.